Hi there, it's Andrew Bell with you once again as we move into the second quarter of the year. Of course, we continue with our series taken from my annual property report. But before we look at the impact of unemployment, which is significant, there are two significant pieces of information that I want to share with you. The first is the remarks by the Reserve Bank Governor Glenn Stevens just last week, where he signalled that he believes the economy is on the cusp of shaking off an 18-month growth slump, as a home construction boom offsets the higher dollar and falling investment in resources. Glenn Stevens said, a flood of early evidence shows the long-anticipated handover from resources-led growth to broader economic drivers is beginning. You'll remember that I talked about this some weeks ago as a critical element of boosting our economic activity, so great to see. Governor Stevens suggested growth may beat the expectations over the next 12 to 24 months and rise above 3%. He's suggesting that there will be a boom in residential construction over the next couple of years, and whilst that is great for the broader economy, it will of course start to take some pressure off resale prices at the same time. It was off the back of these comments that saw the Australian dollar jump well over 90 cents to 92, and that was significant over the past few days. The other key piece of news is that our sales figures have increased each month over the last 3 months. And over that period of time, we've seen sales volumes up 50% from just 3 months ago. Now, I do understand that our offers is picking up larger market share, but it can't be fully attributed to this. And it does, in fact, represent an increase in market activity that's happening in sales right across the Gold Coast. Really significant jump. So now, let's have a look at how unemployment is affecting the real estate market at present. Employment levels are closely linked to real estate as it creates buyer demand through the ability of people to borrow and repay. Fundamentally, rising and falling unemployment impacts on the confidence levels of buyers. For example, a recent survey asking the biggest constraint facing buyers of all real estate saw respondents from all states of Australia overwhelmingly point to employment security. Unemployment was always one of the great fears of the GFC. But as we've moved into the 7th year since the start of the GFC, it's been wonderful that Australia has maintained one of the best unemployment rates in the world. It is particularly amazing that with Australia growing in population by such a large number, that we've been able to absorb this population growth without adding significant unemployment. In fact, over the past 5 years, Australia created 165,000 new jobs every year. However, in the last 12 months, there's been a significant slowdown in new jobs being created, and that is particularly because the resources boom has slowed. So, significantly, we are not taking up as much in their workforce due to that. And in fact, there's been shedding of jobs. Unemployment has been rising since November 13, and the forecast has been for unemployment to rise somewhere between 6.25% and 6.5% by the middle of this year, at which stage it will most probably peak. Now, there was a surprise jump in the number of full-time jobs of 15,500 and part-time jobs of 5,500 back in November. Currently, our jobs growth is the worst in 20 years. But we have to take into account that employment is a lagging indicator of economic activity and is one of the last things to recover during a revival of any economy. The Reserve Bank says that there's been significant signs that a number of forward-looking indicators of employment growth are no longer in decline. For example, employers have been boosting hours worked at the fastest pace in 18 months to October 13. Job site Seek says it's experienced a slight increase in advertisements. And with a boost in construction of residential properties, as highlighted by the Reserve Bank Governor, we can expect to see rising employment off the back of this. The December business survey manufacturing sector shows a strong lift in demand and production, and that certainly indicates a firming employment outlook in that important sector. The survey also shows that firms appear to have put a halt to job shedding, but they are looking for greater productivity before they look for any further increases in employment. Now that reminds us that historically hours worked tend to improve before new employment is engaged. Now the new federal government pledges to generate 1 million jobs, extra jobs, in their first 5 years of government, and that is about 16,000 jobs per month. And they won't want to come up to the next federal election having not delivered significant growth in employment. So the good news is that unemployment is not rising very sharply, and employment is not falling sharply. So it could well be that we've got to a plateau now. Now, the latest figures released in early March show the biggest surges in full-time jobs since 1991, with a robust 47,300 increase in total employment during February, which has confounded even the most optimistic forecast. There are often adjustments that occur in the months following the official figures being released, but it will be interesting to see what the next posted figures are. That means that unemployment has held at 6% at the moment. Of course, so much of our media coverage focuses on the likes of Qantas announcing 5,000 job cuts and the closure of Holden. This undermines the confidence of Australians. Yet little attention was paid to Woolworths announcing recently that it was on track to add almost 7,000 jobs in the year to June, after their rivals Coles announced that they would create 16,000 jobs. No question that unemployment has the potential of being the biggest influence of the real estate market in 2014. So let's keep a close attention to that as the year progresses. Well, I guess I'd sum up all of this today by saying that we're still performing well on the unemployment front, and there is a possibility of better than expected results for 2014. May I also take this opportunity of wishing you all the very best for Easter. It looks like most Australians will be taking advantage of the 2 long weekends and an 8-day holiday. It certainly means that here on the Gold Coast we expect to see lots of sales activity over that period of time. If there is anything that we can do at any stage to help you, please don't hesitate to let us know either directly by phone or by email, as we're here at your service. Well, that's it for this e-newsletter. All the very best. Look forward to seeing you next time.